you anymore? Who are you anymore?
Loving this record. Can't really say much else about it. Kind of feeling a strong 9 to a 10.
Welcome back to Let's Argue, where I take... What's going on, guys? JD here. Welcome back to the resurrection of this little show that back in the day I used to call Dangerous Opinions, and I'm going to roll with that name for now. Maybe we'll rename it in the future. But I asked you all on Instagram to give me some unpopular Michael Jackson opinions that I can either agree with or disagree with, and this is what everybody said. I want to thank everybody for submitting, because there were way too many to all use in a video. So next time I plan on maybe saying it on Twitter or giving you all an email to send videos to, and then maybe you could say the unpopular opinion, whatever. If that's something you guys would like to see, let me know. But here is what everybody said. Heaton367 said, Dangerous choreography is amazing, one of my favorites, and I wish the album version was shorter. I would agree with this. I feel like the performance version would be 4 or 5 minutes, and then the album version is 6, 7. Yeah, I feel like it's a perfect length for it, 4 or 5 minutes. And a lot of people said this too, very similar things. I know Nicholas Stoller, who's probably watching this right now, said the same thing. And I mean, it doesn't matter to me. I've never really thought about it, but I do agree. Emmanuel Chan says, Michael Jackson's book Moonwalker is underrated. This is a big disagree for me, and I know a lot of people won't agree, but here's why. Michael didn't write it. I mean, he kind of did, but he didn't. There was a ghostwriter involved, and so, I don't know. I would much rather watch a documentary than read the book. I'm not saying you shouldn't check it out, because the book is cool, but I feel like the amount of recognition it gets now is perfect. For what it deserves when it comes to the project. And I know a lot of people will DM me and be like, how dare you say that? But, I mean, I've read it 3 times. If you already know Michael Jackson enough, you really gain no new information from this. So I wouldn't recommend it to anybody. That's just me, though. Josh Suarez says, I cannot stand the Motown albums. I don't talk about the Motown albums on here a lot because I'm not too familiar with them as much as I am with the solo material, as I feel like a lot of fans are. But I don't know about not standing them. I feel like they're fine. I feel like I'd probably rank them above most Jackson 5 albums, personally. Can't stand is very, very harsh. But yeah, I mean, I don't really go back to it, so I can see what you're saying, but overall, for me, personally, it's a big disagree. Luke Hare 12 made a very, very bold, dangerous opinion here, and said, Escape over Invincible. You are a wise man, because I will agree with this. Shut up. Escape, I've been trying to get back into the Michael studio albums after not listening to them for a year or two, and Escape is just I love it so much, even more now than I did back in the day. Right now, being a senior in high school and with all the music that's popular, Escape is just very, very good, and I don't feel like we give it enough love. Now, with that being said, being over Invincible doesn't take a lot. Michael Jackson 455, who I just did a really cool video with on the Nicholas Stoller YouTube channel. You may know Michael Jackson 455 better as Moonwalking Kingdom, a channel that I strongly recommend you guys check out. He said Off the Wall's underrated, and I agree, but I also feel like this is said so much that it's impossible for it to still be underrated. I mean, literally, almost every day there's somebody talking about how underrated Off the Wall is. I mean, I think it's a great album. I don't think it's Michael's best. I don't think it's the best of anything, really. But it's still very, very, very good. And underrated to the general public, definitely. But underrated to the Michael fandom, I would say no. Joe Lee Keiko, I'm not even going to try. Honestly, not a huge fan of Invincible, especially 2000 Watts. Yes. Here's a hot take on Invincible. I feel like everybody, since Michael did such a tough time in promoting it and talking about how much he enjoyed creating it, whatever, the whole 2001 Sony debacle, I feel like fans think it's cool and edgy to like Invincible because Michael promoted it and all that stuff with Sony. that people fail to review it truthfully. Invincible's not a good album. And somebody said later on who said it. I'm going to go ahead and skip that one. Isaiah.jo5 said Invincible is a perfect album. I strongly disagree. Invincible has dated the worst out of any Michael Jackson album. That's because songs like Heartbreaker immediately sound like 2001 pop. Everything from Invincible is a product of its time, and I don't like it. Literally, the only one that I listen to, the only track off of Invincible that I listen to regularly is Threatened. And when you think about all the stuff that he had in his back catalog during this time, We've Had Enough. I even like Shout and stuff like that. And instead of putting that on the album, he put stuff like Cry and Heartbreaker and all that stuff that I just can't listen to. That's something I can't stand. So I really don't like it. And I would love to do a long thought-out video about why I don't like Invincible, but I feel like I'd get canceled once again for that. And I'm good. InstaK say, I'm not even going to try again. I shouldn't have even put the names down. Quincy Jones should have produced Dangerous. I'm going to say disagree, but you could easily change my opinion on this. I love Dangerous the way it is, so saying that Quincy Jones should have produced it means things would change, and I don't really want them to. I feel like Quincy Jones and Michael ended at a good time because Bad wasn't... You know, you have Thriller, but then you have Bad, and it's like they're not on the same scale. Like, Bad, even though it's good, it's fine, is like way far down from Thriller. So I feel like it was a good time for them to stop working together to get off the boat before it sinks. And so I feel like Dangerous was a cool resurrection of Michael Jackson's releases or something different, if you get what I'm saying. So, you know, I would disagree with that, but I feel like if somebody was like, oh, well, have you heard this demo of Serious Effect or whatever that Michael and Quincy were working on, I'd be like, oh, okay, well, maybe we needed that. But I really like Dangerous recently, too, for some reason. I don't know. Revisiting these albums have really been good for me because, you know, I really got into Michael in junior high, and now, as of today, actually, I'm a senior in high school. So I haven't really listened to them with the same ears recently. So it was cool to revisit them. Maxian says, Who Is It is the best song Michael ever made? No. No. I don't even know if I'd call it the best song off Dangerous, so I disagree. We've Had Enough is Michael Jackson's best song, and I will not hear any other opinions. I mean, I could hear stuff close, but We've Had Enough is the best song Michael Jackson ever made. When it comes to lyrics, when it comes to music, when it comes to vocal performances, I feel like We've Had Enough, when you listen to it, the listenability, it feels like you're watching a show on stage. It feels like... You know, I just feel like the emotion in the vocals, it feels like Michael is just all whatever. I'm not going to try to explain because this question isn't about We've Had Enough. But Who Is It is good. It's great even, but nowhere near the top, I wouldn't say. I mean, I'd rank it high, but I wouldn't rank it at the top, if that makes sense. I'm not trying to like dethrone it or anything like that, but I don't agree with it being the best. Jaden Music says, unreleased material has potential to be his best. Strong disagree. Probably the biggest disagree on this entire video. You guys are thinking way too much when it comes to Michael unreleased material. I'm a musician too, and I know my demos or songs that I haven't put out, they're not a lot, and I didn't put them out for a reason, and Michael was the same way. Like on all the original versions on Escape, a lot of them are just humming, and all the leaked demos are humming, and they're just like not complete lyrics, and I just... Are there... So unreleased, I mean, if you're taking that into account, what we haven't heard now, I guess that's a different question. Because I did just do a whole thing about how much I love We've Had Enough, and you could call that unreleased in a sense. I don't know, I would have to get more of a thought process on this question, but if you're talking about stuff we haven't heard now, definitely not. If you're talking about stuff that didn't make albums, perhaps. Louis says, The Way You Make Me Feel is overrated. Huh. That one really makes me think. Because, you know, I like it, but I do hear it everywhere. And the fan community overrates the video a lot. I'm going to go ahead and go with Disagree, because I think it's a perfect Michael Jackson song in the sense that when you hear it, you think Michael Jackson. But I do see how you could think that, definitely. But overall, I'm going to go with Disagree. I think the video's great, and I think it's just pure Michael Jackson, both the song and the video. So it's hard to say it's overrated, but it definitely is played too much. It's overplayed, but not overrated. So in a sense, it's kind of like Wonderwall. Now, I did say I only took Instagram, but I took a few from Twitter, just because a few really caught my eye, and the guy that submitted this knows that I'm talking about him. At Sam Lamb again says, as much as Paul McCartney and Michael Jackson are incredible artists of their own, they aren't a good duo, and all their songs together were not as good as people claim them to be. No. Just hearing those two iconic voices on a track together is a very, very, very big deal. And not even talking about, like, I know you meant the music, but if you think about the racial barriers that a collaboration like this broke, you know, I couldn't stand how I just can't see how you don't think that these songs live up to the potential. I mean, even something like The Man, which isn't amazing, is still better than anything on that Paul McCartney album, Pipes of Peace, and on, well, I'm not going to say Thriller, but it's better than a lot of Michael Jackson songs. They're just really, really good songs, man, all of them. And I haven't even brought up Say, Say, Say. So yeah, no, this is a very, very bad take. Strong disagree. No way. So yeah, that was 15 of your most unpopular Michael Jackson opinions. I'll do this video again sometime. So far, I think we got a lot of agrees, so that's cool. I think last time we got a lot of disagrees. I don't even remember what that video was called, so I'm not going to link it. Let's just pretend like this is the first episode. Obviously heavily inspired by the needle drop who just went off screen. I can't get it to wake up, so I guess we'll just go with a blank screen for the rest of this video. Thank you all for watching. I really appreciate it, and I hope you all thought objectively about these opinions and not just what you prefer. But I think we can all agree, here's a dangerous opinion: Michael Jackson was a great artist, and we can all have our different opinions on him. My merch is available on the store. What do they call it? They call it like a LinkedIn or something like that. I don't know what the cool people at YouTube call these things, but I strongly recommend you guys go check it out. And there's like 30% off, I think I just did. 30% off if you use code DANGEROUS. If you get a history in the mix shirt, this is the only way to support the channel, because demonetization, I usually don't get anything from these videos. But that's a really cool way to support me, even if it's just like a $5 sticker, you know. And the 30% off, I'd get like $1 from that. But still, you know, I could eat a double cheeseburger from McDonald's that night. I could still eat dinner, so that'd be cool. Still diabetic, but thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe for more. I'm really going to end it this time. And we'll be back next week. Make that change.